Welcome back to the show, Extra Rich. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you are new and hit the bell button next to it so you're notified whenever these videos drop. And if you guys have any video suggestions, you can comment them down below or hit me in my DMs. The links to my accounts are in the description box below. On the menu today, we have a $66 million fraud scheme with food stamps. Let's check it out.
But first, there's this. A Department of Agriculture employee and 5 others under arrest this morning, accused of a multi-million-dollar food stamp fraud and bribery scheme. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York calling this one of the largest food stamp frauds in U.S. history. Joining me now is the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins. Secretary, it's great to have you this morning. What can you tell us about this?
Well, good morning, Maria. It's always so great to be with you. And you are coming from one of my favorite places in America. So it's really great to see you there. Listen, this is a new day. And President Trump promised as he was traveling across the country over the last few years that it would not be the government that we know. The government certainly that under Joe Biden exponentially grew. And alongside that, including the fraud and waste and abuse. And so at USDA, we are hyper-focused on rooting out that waste, fraud, and abuse. And to your point, yesterday was, if not the largest, one of the largest stings. And moving forward and finding that fraud, I think almost $70 million that is no longer going to be allowed here in Washington and with these programs like the food stamp program. So we're going to move forward, obviously, in partnership with the FBI, with the Department of Justice, of course, our team at USDA. This is not the one and only. There are going to be many more to come. And we're going to make sure that we're delivering on our promises to the taxpayers.
$66 million committed by 5 or 6 people. It says a USDA employee and 5 others. So 6 people stole $66 million. That is insane. That is insane. And that is exactly why we needed Doge and Elon to come into this government and wreak havoc, right? Be a bull in a china shop and go anywhere and everywhere they possibly could. And, you know, it's funny because you saw these Democrats and whatnot outside of some of these buildings fighting and yelling, making up a bunch of stuff. Elon's going to steal your money. Bro, Elon is like one of the richest people on this planet. And he's going to steal money? What? He's going to steal a couple million? This dude is worth like $400 billion. Almost $500 billion. And he goes, what, he gonna steal a few million and risk his freedom? Like, come on, bro. It never even made any sense. And for me, it's like, why would you be against people checking to see if there's waste, fraud, and abuse? Why would you be against that? And so to me, it was obvious what was going on. They knew that there was some fraud going on, that there was some waste going on, and there's still some speculation as far as, you know, where some of this money is gone because we can't really track where it went. I have an idea of where it went. I think it went overseas somewhere and kind of made its way back to a shell company or a Congress member's, a family member or close friend or spouse or something. It didn't go back directly to some of these congressmen and women, but it went to somebody close to them, you know, somewhere that they can access it. That's what I think. But y'all can let me know how you feel about that. But yeah, man, this is why we needed a bull in the china shop, for sure.
So the prosecutors and the authorities are saying that this person defrauded the SNAP program, right? The also known as food stamps, $66 million in unauthorized transactions.
That's right. Well, the food stamp program is one of the largest government programs across the federal government. And obviously, I've talked on this show and other shows that it's time for real effective change. Part of that $200 billion annual program, the best sort of estimate is between 20 to 30% of that is fraud, waste, and abuse. The $66 million that was announced yesterday on behalf of USDA and the others that were part of that, again, is just the tip of the spear. And the way that works, Maria, the EBT card.
And I also want to know, how long has this been going on? Like, how long did it take them to steal that $66 million? Was this just over the past year? Has this been multiple years? And if that's the case, how many other people have done this as well? You know, that we can't go back and track, that because the records have been deleted and whatnot because it's been so long. How many other people have enriched themselves off of our tax dollars? Ain't no telling, man. Ain't no telling.
The EBT cards is what USDA, the government, uses to provide that supplemental nutrition assistance, which is the food stamps, and that it's a fairly easy thing to do. We're trying to lock it down right now to ensure that it doesn't keep happening. But when you've got employees that basically don't follow the law, then we've got to fix it, and that's what we're doing. There's going to be real consequences for breaking the law across America's federal government with President Trump, but this is just one of many more to come.
Well, we definitely want to see consequences and accountability, but let me move on. Secretary, you approved state waivers to make America healthy again by removing unhealthy foods from the SNAP programs in Indiana and Iowa. On Monday, you approved the first ever state waiver to restrict soda and energy drinks from the food stamps in Nebraska. You're really zeroing in on health and wellness for our young people and everyone else. Your thoughts? Tell us more.
Well, I am really proud. I'll be honest with you. I'm a little surprised that this hasn't happened before, right? It's just common sense. This is the age maybe of common sense in Washington, that taxpayer dollars were being used to fund lower income Americans' purchase of sugary drinks and junk food. Now, if they want to use their own money to do that, of course, that's fine. It may not be the best health choices, but the fact that taxpayers have been funding this in a massive program, the number one purchase with using taxpayer dollars was on sugary drinks. So I guess for years,
Jeez, man, that is crazy. The number one purchase with food stamps is sugary drinks. That is crazy. That's crazy. And I agree, bro. Listen, that you shouldn't be allowed to purchase that kind of stuff with food stamps, because this is ultimately for the kids, right? And you shouldn't be feeding kids this nonsense and this crap. That's the way that I feel about it. Feed them stuff that's good for them. Sugary drinks are not good for you. There's no nutritional value in a bunch of sugar.
Those waivers that have been submitted by the states have been approved, but we already approved Nebraska was first. Iowa and Indiana were last week. And then we've got several more announcements in the coming week, and then hopefully many, many more to follow. And this is bipartisan, Maria. This is not just, Republican governors. It's Republican and Democrat working together to ensure that we're providing the right sort of programming that we need for our lower income Americans.
Now, Secretary, the last time we spoke, I believe the president had just done a deal with the UK on trade. You were traveling there. You're going now to Rome next week. You'll reinforce the administration's expectations for improved agricultural market access to Italy.
All right, looks like they're going into a different conversation. So, yeah, man, hey, listen, I know there's going to be some people mad, and I got some more videos coming. People angry about this whole food stamp situation, but ultimately, I agree with it. Why are you buying sugary drinks? That is crazy to me. Crazy. There's no nutritional value. There's no health benefit to drinking a bunch of sugar. Okay, especially if we're talking about the kids. So I agree. Listen, you can't buy that with your food stamps. You're buying healthy things. If you want to buy that with your own personal cash, cool. You do you, boo-boo. All right, but with the food stamps, that's cut off. Cut off. You're buying healthy stuff only. Simple and plain. And if we catch you selling your food stamps, because we all know somebody that be selling food stamps for 50 cents on the dollar, for $100 worth of groceries, you pay them $50. We all know somebody, but if we catch you, it's your ass, okay? It's your behind. You off them food stamps and you going to jail. All right, because, it's so many folks that be selling their food stamps. Is crazy. It's crazy. So honestly, one, the amount of food stamps that people get should be lowered dramatically. But two, the amount of time needs to be 6 to 12 months. That's it. If you can't feed yourself and your kids after 6 to 12 months, go to jail. Go to jail. It's the way that I feel about it. Because if a father has to go to jail because he can't pay his child support, why should a mother not have to go to jail because she can't put food on the table too? And some people going to say, well, what's the kid going to do? The government is going to have to take care of the kid. Well, the government, the taxpayers, we're already taking care of the kid regardless, because The mom was on food stamps and housing assistance and everything else. So we were already taking care of the kids. So really don't nothing change. But more importantly, I think you will have to arrest a lot of mothers. Not a lot, but there will be some folks, some women who don't think it's actually going to happen, and they're going to have to get arrested. But once you have that initial wave of people who are just lazy and bums, once you have that initial wave of people who are just lazy and want to live off the government assistance, once you arrest that initial wave, everybody else get on their high horse and get on their shit and start taking care of business, work the 2 jobs if they have to, close their legs because they don't want to, be at risk of going to jail or whatnot. Bro, I think it would be a beautiful thing for society. I think it would be a phenomenal thing for society. A lot of these women out here that's just having kid after kid after kid and couldn't afford the first kid that they had, all that stuff going out the window because they don't want to go to jail, okay? Fathers is going to be in the home a lot more because women are going to be vetting men more properly, right? So they're just letting anybody and everybody clap cheeks and she get pregnant and, oh, I got a baby daddy, but the baby daddy don't even like me. He just wanted to clap cheeks. Like, no, all that stuff is going out the window because don't nobody want to go to jail. So that's what I think, man. I know it'll never happen, but what do y'all think about that? Let me know. Make sure y'all hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it for the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, man, let me know how y'all feeling about this. Do y'all agree with me or disagree? Why or why not? Peace.